right?
About not overheating the receiving. Then we can decrease the use of fossil fuels, heating, cooling, and transporting. With microturbines, so
We're sitting up in these right now.
compressed air invention.
A gravel bus is what we're sitting on here today.
A to Z. Maybe there's a fuel cell bus on the property. What is this one across the way? Let's go get in that one.
Metro Local. That's for commuters. Natural Clean Air Fleet.
More natural gas. Where are the fuel cell buses? Like in the desert.
Job.
Go on over here and find out more about the fuel cells.
She wants to find out more about the fuel cell. I don't blame her. Let's see.
So there's some really interesting things that can happen on both pathways. There's still a lot of R&D going on. The feds really focus more on the R&D. The state really is more about implementation.
Does this one get 300 miles to the...
This one gets 265 miles on a fill line.
Well, that's as far as anyone needs to go.
Just because of the strides that they've made in the technology over the last 10 years, I mean, you're going to have a continuous improvement. I assume by the time that like Ford, Nissan, and Daimler, they have a joint technology sharing program. I assume you're going to see minimum 300, if not more. I mean, you're going to see, and there's a lot of research going on in addition to flying kind of precious metals. See what's going on.
Very enthusiastic person.
Well, you know, we're just really excited that honestly, we've been selling electric lawnmowers for several years, and
This generation you really like, no problem.
well, it's really gotten to the point that battery technology it can compete with gas. You know, and that's it used to be that the argument was, well, look at all the environmental benefits, all the you know, reduction in emissions and noise levels and gas and oil consumption and all of that. But now, you know, we can actually say, yeah, it actually does the job in addition to that. And now we can talk about, you know, all the other things, you know, in addition to doing the job, there are so many other things that people don't realize that go into landfills that are associated with gas operation. You've got all the spark plugs and the oil filters and all the different, you know, kinds of solvents and lubricants and things, and all of those containers go into landfill. There's just so
Almost
much.
an oil slick.
It's just, yeah, there's just so
An oil spill on planet Earth.
gas, you know, gas.
So you put the two-stroke engine out of biz?
Well, unfortunately, not yet, but we are working on it, and there's a lot of resistance. You know, I mean, there are a lot of people that are curious about it and they want to know about it, but then there's also a lot of and most of those people that are curious about it are in a position to make a decision on it. But you know, the actual operators are just plain resistant. You know, they don't think it'll work, and so consequently they don't want to do it. But you know, so there's a certain amount.
So the noise level continues.
Well, what ends up
Fossil
happening
fuel
is
use continues.
we get
pollution.
We get these into their hands though, and they start using them, and they see that it does do the job. And then after, you know, a few days or even a few weeks, you know, we come back
And then
say,
the
"Well, I
word
like
goes
it."
around town.
It is, you know, they're not sucking exhaust anymore. They feel healthier. They don't come home reeking like gasoline anymore. You know, we got these guys that say, yeah, my wife makes me, you know, take off all my clothes in the garage because I stink so bad when I come home from work. And you know, and so there's really, you know, once they get using them, they understand that, you know, yeah, A, it does the job, and B, we feel a lot better about it.
And what do we think is the quantitative amount of landscaping and those fumes escaping every day from two-stroke operations for grasses? It's pretty huge
It
in
is.
SoCal.
It's huge, and you know, we're working with, and the thing is, we've been in the residential lawnmower business for quite a while, and we're really starting to focus on the commercial guys, you know, and the big companies are looking at it, and they say, well, you know, I mean, we're
Sports
using
arenas.
this. Well, sure, and the locations too.
Rest in peace facilities.
Well, absolutely.
Golf courses.
Golf courses, shopping centers. You know, we're working with a lot of different large properties that have their own crews that, you know, they don't sub it out to an independent contractor, and they have their own guys that do this stuff. And we just go right out to them and, you know, demonstrate this stuff and let them use it. And, you know, we'll let them use it for a week.
How does it apply to motorcycles?
I know of an electric motor. We were at another show, and I know of a company that makes electric motorcycles, but
Not the
I honestly
same
don't
type of engine.
know. Well, it's electric. You know, it's an electric motor, but you know, this one spins a blade and the other one spins a tire.
Exactly. So not a big difference. Both would be very quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and they are. You know, honestly, when they're moving, they're nearly silent. I mean, similar to a Prius or something like that. You know, it'll sneak up
Wow.
on you. But then, once you turn the blades on, you do have blade noise, but there's no engine noise. You know, it's just the blade cutting the wind. You know, and so that's, you know,
Probably
basically-
quite tolerable.
It is. You can have a conversation standing next to it without well, even on the residential one here, I can give you some idea of how.
I think one of the motorcycles is over there. Yeah.
Louder, just the back of the concrete. If it were in grass, it'd be a little bit less than that. But that's really just the blade cutting the wind. It's pretty quiet.
That's very quiet. And that still cuts grass?
Well, I don't have the blades on, so that's.
Oh.
You're still going to get that blade.
So engineers,
Cutting the
it's
wind.
blades cutting the wind.
Yeah.
That's
But still, you know, you can be standing there and having a conversation next to somebody who's got the blades going.
well. I thank you today. And what is your name?
My name's Jay.
Jay. Green Station. Jay with Green Station and the Stalker, the Night Stalker. Yes. Well, most people don't use them at night, but that's all right.
Well, they do early in the morning. You know, a lot of the school campuses and stuff get out there before the sun comes up, before the students get there, and before administration.
That's very thoughtful of them.
They do. They're
Because they're too noisy for the, you know, classroom.
Yep.
All right, Jay, thanks. And there's a green multi-person shuttle.
We're affiliated with the American Green Zone Alliance, AGZA, and it's a membership organization that manufacturers can join. It's basically everybody trying to get off gas. And there's a website there that you can take a look at. It's locations, like you said, it's schools, it's shopping centers, it's cemeteries, it's, you know, everybody
A
who's got
12-step
property.
program.
And, you know, it's just basically getting people off gas. And that's
Yes.
what we're trying to do. And residences and bus.
So we go vehicle to vehicle, vehicle back to the grid, or vehicle to load. This is a rolling
Well,
generator.
how did you get batteries that outlive the life of a bus?
Chemistry we use. It's lithium iron phosphate.
So it's generating energy as you roll that you can use?
It has regenerative braking on it, yes, but no, I mean, actually the way we take power in from the grid and we invert it on board, all the charging infrastructure is actually built onto this bus. So we don't have these big monolithic stations to charge it. It's just a small little interface that takes AC power in. We bring it on, we invert it to DC power to power our batteries.
And then keeps it going.
And then we can invert it. Well, it doesn't perpetually run. It has a range. So this
Okay.
bus, you know, on average, we get about 155, 175 miles on the charge in service, assuming full passenger load and the air conditioning running.
Can you refill the batteries?
Yeah, you just charge it.
Yeah, but I mean as in take the lithium combo out and put it back in rather than have to put the housing in the landfill somewhere.
Well, lithium iron phosphate, if you know the chemistry, is actually about as volatile as if you go underneath their kitchen sink tonight and look at the detergents. In fact, their CEO, when Warren Buffett invested in our company, drank a glass of electrolyte on stage.
Oh.
They said, you know what, it tastes terrible, but it's not going to kill me. I don't want to solve one problem.
But I'm talking about the housing. We need not to put millions of batteries that can't be used again places when we could refill them.
Well, yeah, we can repurpose the cells.
Repurpose the cells, yes. So why should we fill up landfills
I
and
agree.
the desert with battery cases? So even if you made them out of cellulose and they put them in the compost, it would still be better to reuse first.
Absolutely.
Always. So we're in a totally electric bus, and which city is getting the honor to showcase?
LA Metro will be taking possession of their first 5 before the end of this year. Antelope Valley Transit Authority already has 2 of our buses. And Stanford University has 13 of them. Plus they have over, probably about 2,000 of these buses running worldwide. We're the world's largest manufacturer of rechargeable transit buses.
What about UCLA? Are they using them on campus?
No, we demoed with them, but nothing's been purchased at this time.
So what do you think comparatively to the fuel cell buses out in the desert?
The sunlight transportation. Fuel cell buses are, and maybe that's the future. I don't know. I mean, 20 years ago they were 10 years away. 10 years ago they were 10 years away. Today they're 10 years away. So I don't know when that 10 years is up, but
They are running them.
they are running them, but they're very expensive. Those buses cost about $2 million each,
Oh my goodness.
and then you have to create the whole station.
Yes.
So that's multi-millions of dollars. Plus, like up in AC Transit in Oakland, they showed us the routes that their fuel cell buses couldn't run on, the hills they went up, and they weren't even hills. I mean, we just right at the top.
Wow, fully loaded with these.
We had power to do it. They did not. So,
What about the natural gas one?
those are older buses. Natural gas is okay, but it's not efficient.
It's not that powerful, is it?
You get about 2